नमस्कार। श्री Ramakrishna Kathamrita. कथामृतं तप्तजीवनं कविभिरीडितं कल्मषापहं श्रवणमङ्गलं श्रीमदादतं भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जनाः। श्री रामकृष्ण कथामृत प्रथम भाग षष्ठ खंड प्रथम परिच्छेद. We are continuing our weekly reading of Sri Ramakrishna Kathamrita, first volume. This is the sixth section and the first chapter. At it is Sunday, 22nd July 1883, and along with the other devotees who normally come to visit Sri Ramakrishna on Sundays, on this particular day, other Rakhal, Master Ham have all come from Calcutta, and also there are other devotees like Mani Malik and other admirers and devotees, disciples of Sri Ramakrishna. Now, in the previous reading, Sri M had given us the virtual tour of the premises of the Dakshineshwar Kali temple, a huge ground, and then the temples of Radha Govinda and Ma Bhavatarani, Ma Kali temple, the 12 Shiva temples, and then Sri M had also described us in great detail about the gardens around that temple, in the temple complex, right from the farthest corner of the southern direction till the northmost corner, where Panchavati is there, where Sri Ramakrishna had done that austere sadhana, the austerities, and of course the gardens, the flowering trees spreading across in the eastern area, in the eastern portion of this temple complex, the main entrance of Dakshineshwar Kali temple. On the western side is that beautiful Ganges, which is flowing, and the beautiful breeze coming up from the Ganges. And sitting in Sri Ramakrishna's room, looking outside that western door, the western door where that semicircular porch is there, that very famous the architectural construction of that semicircular porch outside the western door of Sri Ramakrishna's room, and from there the Ganga can be seen, and that cool breeze can be felt. Actually, it can only be experienced, that breeze entering Sri Ramakrishna's room, and as if that breeze is coming to touch the feet of this great saint, the great incarnation. পথিক কেবল একবার মহাপুরুষের ধ্যান মন্দির দর্শন স্পর্শন করিয়া চলিয়া যাইতেছেন, as if that the breeze is just taking a break from moving forward, taking a break and coming to this room and taking blessings of Sri Ramakrishna by touching his holy feet. What a beautiful imagination Sri M has. So that was about the previous reading, and now let us continue the reading of the first chapter. Sri Mani Malik, Praton Brahmo Bhakto. Sri Mani Malik is an old Brahmo devotee. He's a Praton Brahmo Bhakto. He's a Brahmo devotee. Boyosh Shah Panshoti. He is around 60-65 years of age. কিছুদিন পূর্বে কাশীধাম দর্শন করিতে গিয়াছিলেন. A few days back he had gone to the great place of pilgrimage, Kashi. He had gone on a pilgrimage. He had visited Kashi. আজ ঠাকুরকে দর্শন করিতে আসিয়াছেন ও তাহাকে কাশী পর্যটন বৃত্তান্ত বলিতেছেন. Now today, after completing that pilgrimage to Kashi, to Banaras, Now, today he came to Dakshineshwar to meet Sri Ramakrishna and tell him about his experience of that particular visit to Kashi, to Banaras. মনে মল্লিক আর একটি সাধুকে দেখলাম, তিনি বলেন ইন্দ্রিয় সংযম না হলে কিছু হবে না, শুধু ঈশ্বর ঈশ্বর করলে কি হবে? Now Mani Malik is sharing his experience of the pilgrimage and meeting some holy people in that most holiest of the holy place of Kashi Dham, the Banaras. Mani Malik says, I met another sadhu there while when I had gone to Kashi. তিনি বলেন, that sadhu, he said, ইন্দ্রিয় সংযম না হলে কিছু হবে না. Nothing will happen without controlling the senses. Without controlling the senses, nothing is possible. শুধু ঈশ্বর ঈশ্বর করলে কি হবে? Simply chanting the name of Lord, Lord, Lord. What will happen? Nothing will happen. You must first control all the senses. Without that, nothing will happen. Now, here was to some extent he wanted to bring out some kind of a contradiction of Thakur's teaching. Thakur said Bhakti Marga is the best path in this time of the Kali Yuga. And Mani Malik, he is telling about his experience of meeting that holy saint, holy sadhu in Banaras, who said, "Natti ki ishpur ke shudhu ishpur ishpur korle ki hobe?" What will happen simply chanting the name of the Lord? So his advice, his saying, was a bit contradictory to the path of bhakti. That's what Mani Malik felt. And sadhu had said, ইন্দ্রিয় সংযম না হলে কিছু হবে না. Without restraining the senses, without controlling the senses, nothing will happen. So he wanted to have Sri Ramakrishna's views on what this sadhu had said. So he told about this sadhu to Sri Ramakrishna, eagerly anticipating, waiting for what Sri Ramakrishna has to say on this. Sri Ramakrishna. And as he had expected, as he had anticipated Sri Ramakrishna to say something, this is what our beloved Thakur uttered. He said, Sri Ramakrishna, এদের মত কি জানো? He said, do you know what people like this sadhu believe? You know what people like this sadhu, what is their opinion? What is their belief? Do you know that? আগে সাধন চই সোম দোম তিতিক্ষা চই. He says their attitude is what this sadhu that you are telling, having visited, after visiting Kashi, that you have met, what he has said. You know what is the belief of this sadhu and people like him? That school of thought, that one must first practice spiritual disciplines, one must first do the austerities. Dom, shomo, domo, titikka choi. One must first perform the austerities of shama. Shama is tranquility. Domo, domo is self-control. Kill all those senses. Kill those outward senses going towards the sense objects. Just have a control. Restrain the senses from going to the sense objects with an intention of enjoyment. Just grasp them in your grip. And titiksha, forbearance. Don't get your senses to have their sway. That is their attitude. It is that hardest of the austerities that these jnanis perform. কেবল এরা নির্বাণের চেষ্টা করছে। Sri Ramakrishna says people like this sadhu that they have said, they're in all the effort, they're all the, they're all, they strive, these people, they strive for attaining nirvana, one without a second. That is their entire attitude. That all their entire focus is to achieve oneness with the Lord, to achieve nirvana, to transcend the senses, to transcend this world and become merged in that one ultimate reality. এরা নির্বাণের চেষ্টা করেছে, এরা বেদান্তবাদী. Sri Ramakrishna says the people like what the sadhu has said, people like him, they are Vedantists, Advaitis. কেবল বিচার করে ব্রহ্ম সত্য জগৎ মিথ্যা বড় কঠিন. Sri Ramakrishna says their attitude is just to dwell on that thought of Brahman is the ultimate reality. Everything else is illusion, delusion. Everything else is false. Brahma Shakti, this world, this universe is all mithya. It is all illusory. That is their attitude. And then further Sri Ramakrishna says, it is extremely difficult path. It is not so such an easy path that just by saying Brahma Shakti Jagat Mithya you get into that mode. No. You start saying Brahma Shakti Jagat Mithya, Brahma Shakti Jagat Mithya, and then that Maya, the delusion, it starts affecting you. It starts influencing you somehow or the other, and then you again fall down from that path of Brahma Shakti Jagat Mithya. It is extremely difficult. It is Bodo Kothin Both. Sri Ramakrishna says extremely difficult, not so easy. Just by repeating 10 times the Brahma Shakti Jagat Mithya, you can get into that mode of becoming Advaiti, becoming a Vedantist. It doesn't happen. জগৎ মিথ্যা হলে তুমিও মিথ্যা. Now Sri Ramakrishna says, how can you say this creation, this universe, this world is a delusion? If that is so, then tumiyo mithya, then you who is part and parcel of this universe, of this jagat, of this creation, you are also a delusion. How can you believe that you are a delusion? Because you are experiencing this life. You are experiencing seeing this, seeing me, listening to my words. You are experiencing all these things. How can you believe that you yourself are a delusion? That is the biggest paradox. That is the biggest confusion. So, জগৎ মিথ্যা হলে তুমিও মিথ্যা, যিনি বলছেন তিনিও মিথ্যা, আর কোথাও স্বপ্নবোধ. Sri Ramakrishna says those who say everything else is delusion, then what they are saying is also like a dream. It is not real. Then what to say? Who is saying what? All confusion galore. বড় দূরের কথা. And then Sri Ramakrishna says, uttering this particular, the going by this philosophy of Brahma Shakti Jagat Mithya, it is it is a matter of abstruse philosophy. It's very difficult to understand, very difficult to follow. The path is extremely difficult. And then Sri Ramakrishna says, Kirokom Jano, how difficult it is. Jemon, you know how it is. Jemon, Kurpur Porale, কিচ্ছুই বাকি থাকে না. You burn the camphor, no trace remains. Everything just vanishes. Everything is burnt up. It is not you. You take camphor and burn it at a place, you won't even know after it's burning something was burnt. It is all gone. It is all finished. It is all vanished. It is all burnt up. কাঠ পোড়ালে তবু ছাই বাকি থাকে. Now Sri Ramakrishna gives this beautiful example of how it is. You burn the camphor, not a trace remains, but you burn firewood. কাঠ পোড়ালে, you burn the firewood, ছাই বাকি থাকে. The ash remains. The firewood is not like camphor. You burn the firewood, you can see the ash, you can see there is something remaining there, even in spite of everything is fully burnt. Ash is still there. শেষ বিচারের পর সমাধি হয়ে. And then Sri Ramakrishna says, only when you get into the mode of ultimate reasoning, that ultimate discrimination, only then one gets into samadhi, only then one gets into this realization of Brahma Satya Jagat Mithya, not otherwise. Not otherwise. To get into that state of burning camphor is the extreme end. It is the extreme experience of discriminating what is real and what is unreal. That is the last word. That is like burning camphor. But in our day-to-day life, what is happening? We are burning the firewood. We can see the ash still remaining after everything is finished. For us, reaching that stage is extremely difficult. শেষ বিচারের পর সমাধি হয়ে. Only after your discriminatory power comes to an end, when there is no more to discriminate between the real and the unreal, when you have reached that stage, then it is Brahma Shakti Jagat Mithya, not otherwise. তখন আমি তুমি জগৎ এসবের খবর থাকে না. And once you reach that stage of having burned the camphor, in that stage, আমি তুমি, I, you, this creation, this world, এসবের খবর থাকে না. And then everything vanishes. Then it is like burning the camphor. Nothing remains after that, not even a trace of ash. Not like that burning the firewood. That is Sri Ramakrishna's great teaching on what he commented upon what the sadhu had told Manimalik at Kashi. That this path is not for us. It's an extremely difficult path. Just saying Brahma Shakti Jagat Mithya, just saying শুধু ঈশ্বর ঈশ্বর করলে কি হবে? Path is not for us. Path is for the ultimately enlightened one who has reached the extreme end of discrimination, of discriminating between the real and the real. And then that stage comes where one can claim that ইন্দ্রিয় সংযম না হলে কিছু হবে না, শুধু ঈশ্বর ঈশ্বর করলে কি হবে? That is the last word. But for us, it is not the last word. We are like those devotees. We are those devotees. We are still like firewood after burning. We leave behind that trace of ash. Know that at one point of time there was a firewood which is now burnt up, and this is the remnant ash, indicative of once upon a time there was a firewood which is now burnt, and this is the ash, not like the camphor. So that is great teaching of Sri Ramakrishna on what the sadhu of Kashi had told Manimali. Om Namah Shri Bhagavate Ramakrishnaya. Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu. Jai Thakur, Jai Ma, Jai Swami.